All right. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Both teams just fanning out.
And make sure they cover every single entrance to their own jungle. They want to make sure no invasion goes on right now.
It's like a staring contest here. Both teams are just camping to see if the other one moves in, and neither team is moving in because they're both camping.
Identical item builds on both sides as well. Support's only going for the support items, not any sort of early damage or any sort of invasion-esque items going there too. Yeah.
You almost always see boots and pots on every single hero these days because of the propensity for invasions. It's so important to have the health regen of the potions and the move speed of the boots in those early game situations. So
yeah, so you can get in if you want to attack and get out if you don't. No one gets left behind either way.
Uh-oh. Vladimir needs to be a little bit careful here. Doesn't want to go up in that bush.
Minions have spawned.
너 내 말에 또 집중 안 하지? 들고 있는 애가 왜 나한테?
Well, whatever Garnet just said, it incited a laugh from the studio audience here.
Good protection from both teams, making sure their blue buffs do not get stolen. Just starting that jungle off on the right foot, and making sure they play what they practiced. Not anything crazy going on. Meanwhile, Olaf is going to be at the top, gaining a bit more creep score right in the beginning before Vlad even gets to the lane.
Very nice. And we do have the other playing graves here. So far, it looks like Big Fat GG is trying to poke down Katie a lot in the mid lane here.
And already doing a nice job forcing that potion to be used right off the bat. They're items that you do purchase to be able to stay in the lane for a while, so you do expect to use them, but you want to try to delay as long as possible and just maximize their effectiveness.
Yep. And that's something that Ari will be able to do a lot, especially early on, especially with, the Orb of Deception is a very long range, whereas all of Mordekaiser's abilities are pretty close range abilities, and so Ari has the much better ability to poke him. But later on, once he gets some spell vamp and he's able to do tons of damage to minions, get his shield up, he's going to be a lot stronger. But St. Vicious is going in for an early gank. Is he going to flash? He does flash and stuns him. The charm goes up. Oh, nice, and the ignite as well. Very, very quick first blood at the 3-minute mark. Nice with the flash stun by St. Vicious and the charm to follow up by Big Fat GG. Excellent, excellent play. Now Ari is just going to go ahead and go back home and buy some items with her pretty new gold.
Yeah, that was some great execution by the CLG team. They waited until the shield of Mordekaiser was gone, and then they were able to go in, use the bear stance from Udyr and get that stun off, followed by the charm that was very easy to hit when Mordekaiser was already stunned.
Yeah, Mordekaiser, I actually didn't see what happened there. He used his flash apparently, but I'm surprised he actually didn't use it earlier to get away from that stun. Or did he use it early and I didn't miss it? I'm not sure.
It was off the screen at the time.
Oh, wow!
Beautiful Howling Gale coming out from Janna to make sure that Skarner did not get in close enough to actually do any damage to them.
Yeah, Godfather going for the flash pulverize, it looked like, and Chowster completely on top of it actually flashed away before the pulverize could go off. Extremely fast reaction there to save himself from possibly getting triple ganked.
Yeah, we see that Graves has already used all of his potions, so the sustain that he gets from Triumphant Roar from Alistar is not really enough to keep him alive for very long, so he needed to use those potions as well. That's going to give Caitlyn a little bit of poking advantage going on right now. Eye of the Storm keep going on Caitlyn to make sure that she doesn't take any unnecessary damage.
Very nicely done. Very nicely done, by the way, by the other there. Hitting the minions just enough so that they would be low enough to last hit once he took one shot from the turret, so he doesn't lose much CS on the tower. Very nice.
Yeah, we do see Vladimir pushing up a little bit too far here. Udyr is posturing to be able to come in for another gank.
Oh no, they are going to get it! Sanguine Pool goes down, but he's slowed down. Can he get the stun off? Bear stance, I think he's just going to dive it. He's going to hit the bear stance, the ignite goes off, and St. Vicious gets out with another, no, actually got the kill on that one. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, double lifted a little bit of trouble. but they do
really
get out.
nice forward here. He's already able to get the gold for 5 item, allow him to just get even more gold than you normally would at this stage in the game. Those extra 2 kills are going to be huge for them, as he's just going to be able to go from lane to lane to lane, getting gank after gank after gank, forcing NeL to not have any sort of breathing room to be able to come back from something like that. But if they can get in a good position, they will be able to have some sort of opportunity to be able to make a counter gank as well. Alistar here in the bushes waiting for Caitlyn to push up, but she knows not to get too over aggressive, even though they're doing quite well so far.
Katie just going ahead and laning away in the middle. He's had to go back home and buy more pots, by the way, I believe. Well, he died, so that would be why, I guess.
That'll send him home pretty quick.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Headbutt pulverize going in, knocks him down, but the other actually is too low to actually follow up. A little bit worried that Double Lift will counter and just attack him down, which is a possibility here.
Yeah, it was a nice smoke screen out there by Graves. He was actually expecting Double Lift to back off, but Double Lift instead became aggressive, and it was, in that case, not a good smoke screen, but he couldn't have predicted that too well.
Oh, they might be going for a dive down at bottom. Ari and Udyr coming down. Udyr stops. He's got oracles already from those kills, so he can kill off that ward.
Yeah, so NeL knows that Udyr's here, but they do not know that Ari's here. Ari is already, yeah, she is level 6, so she does have a Spirit Rush.
Oh, but they're going to come up and try and catch Skarner here. Is Garnet going to get away? Looks like they're going to get his big Wraith and just fall back there. Are they going to try and go in after Mordekaiser? No, he knows they're there as well. So, pretty cool move there. Not getting any ganks out, but...
Yeah, quick smite going down there from Udyr, just grabbing that Wraith, which is, for each of these creep champs, it's only the biggest creep that gives you like any sort of serious gold and experience. So just grabbing it from the opponent jungle is a great thing to do, especially early on. And looks like Caitlyn's going to go ahead and back there on a ward, actually. So, yep, the blue buff from CLG is now up, so Ari's going to push up her lane a little bit, giving her a little bit of breathing room to run away, grab the buff, and come back without losing any of the creep score.
Yep. And luckily for Skarner, Mordekaiser does not use mana, so he can just go ahead and grab the blue buff for himself there on Garnet. Very handy. That's exactly what Ari's going to do right now. Come over here and snag the end of this buff.
But Mordekaiser, knowing that's happening, is going to try to push up as well. Get every little advantage he can because he is down already with 1 death. 42 creep score against Ari's at 50 already. Not too big of a difference, but every little bit matters. 2 junglers there, face to face. Very focused on what they need to do.
Yes, indeed. And it looks like Garnet might be coming in here for a lane gank where instead of coming through the river where the wards often are, they come in through the bottom and just hide in the bush, basically, in order to not be known that they're there. Oh, and he goes in, they're flash pulverized, but again, they get away. The 90 caliber net helps Double Lift escape. Janna didn't even have to use her flash, she just walked away from that, and the gank is failed.
Yeah, not a good feeling to have right now. They're already down a little over 1k gold, 8.5 minutes into the game. NeL's really got to get some of those ganks to work if they're going to have any sort of chance in the mid-game and not have to force this to an extremely long game to have a chance.
Yes, indeed. And more of a poke war going on up at the top. You can see Hotshot GG faring much, much better against Vladimir than he did against Kennen.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I like the decision, by the way, to go for Mordekaiser in the mid lane. We were talking earlier about how he's not a mana champion, so doesn't need that blue buff, which is very important because Skarner used to be actually basically the top picked jungler until he got a little bit of a nerf. They increased the mana cost on his Q ability, which is his little AoE slash that does a lot of damage, and he can spam it very quickly. So he can't really spam it as much now if he doesn't have the mana availability. So by giving the blue buff to Skarner over and over again, by having a mana-less champion on top and mid, it's going to help out Skarner a lot. He's going to actually be able to do what he needs to do. Hotshot GG, you can see, really bullying Vlad here.
Yeah, doing
like
exactly
we were talking about before.
What he needs to. Olaf on 69 creep score compared to Vlad's 60. Not too big of a difference, but every little bit adds up. Grabbing 2 amplifying tomes, those are going to be turning into a revolver in a little bit to get that spell vamp on Vladimir like we were talking about. Meanwhile, Ninja Tabby, because he is taking a lot of that damage from Olaf, He needs to minimize it as much as possible so he can stay in lane a little bit longer. Ideally, he wouldn't have gone back until he had enough money for that Hex Vector.
Oh, is Ari going? Nope. She's just doing some damage. You can see Katie actually didn't take as much damage as he could have because he had that shield on, and that's one of the advantages of Mordekaiser. One of the reasons why he often is used against Ari. He can stand up to that burst a little bit better.
Yeah, and he does get that shield from his passive ability, Iron Man. Every magic damage does, but hold on a second. Caitlyn does get stunned there for a little bit, but she wasn't in too bad of a position. Graves too hurt to be able to go in and do any sort of real damage against Caitlyn. So going back to what I was talking about, Mordekaiser, any spell damage that he does, he gets a shield based on his level. So constantly using his abilities on the minions makes it so that Ari can't do any sort of poke damage against his health bar, which is what he needs to be able to stay around for a while. Yeah,
although of course one of the disadvantages of that is that in order to maintain that shield, you have to attack minions all the time, and you end up pushing a lot, and it's hard to not push if you're worried about getting ganked. Look at this, Ari's going to go ahead and clear out that wave, and again, I think she just took the big ray of of NeL, and whoa, St. Vicious was going for the stun there as Hotshot GG approached. And
yeah, Hotshot trying to keep his
pulled away.
Minion wave as close to his own turret as possible. Wants to stay safe. He doesn't have any wards up at the moment, but does have one in his inventory if he wants to grab it. 2 null magic mantles there. Very interesting choice. Kind of wants to minimize the damage from Vladimir if that's not a mistake.
No, I wouldn't imagine it's a mistake. I'm not sure what he's planning on building that into later. Skarner is like, ooh, I'm going to get Ari. Oh, wait, I might get gotten by Ari. I'm going to back off now. But yeah, that means he's going to be taking very little damage from Vladimir's attacks, and it's part of the reason why he's able to bully Vladimir around a lot.
Yep, looks like
Olaf can do a lot of damage.
And Chaucer are posturing to push out Alistar, at least just regain control of their own little bushes. But Alistar saying, no, I want to stay here. Let me stay.
Doublelift says, the bush is mine. Got more creep score here. Oh. Pretty much even as far as the creep score on the bottom lane, though. Both players farming up almost equally.
Yep, and same items as well.
Yeah, pretty much the same items as well. No kills or assists on either player. So bottom lane's just kind of chilling, doing the same thing. They actually both went for sustain items early on. A little bit surprising. The tendency that I've seen is for AD bots to go ahead and get a big damage item quickly, like a VF sword or something like that. But instead, both of them getting Doran's Blades and Vamp Scepter early on, and of course the boots.
Well, yeah, you do want to get that sustain for continuing to get those minion kills. You want to stay in lane as long as possible so that you can then go back and get the Infinity Edge or the BF sword going into what?
Never mind. It looked like Olaf was going to be engaging Vlad up top, but didn't happen. Vlad fell back.
Oh.
He's got a ward there. But it also looked like there might have been a gank at bottom. It looks like St. Vicious was planning on that, but instead he just clears out the ward that made them see him coming.
Yeah, Garnet posturing there as well as Mordekaiser.
Godfather engages though. Are they going to continue? No.
It's a very passive game so far.
You saw Big Fat GG was actually starting to head down there, sensing that there might be a battle happening, but instead just goes back up. Again, clears that lane. Mordekaiser is losing a lot of creep score on the tower because Ari's continually pushing that down. Ouch! Look at that. Hotshot GG says, come on, come get some creeps, I dare ya. Vladimir says, no thank you. I'll wait till I'm on tower.
Yeah, he does have that Hextech Revolver, but in order for him to get any effect from that, he's going to have to use some of his abilities, which he's just been bullied out, so he's not able to do that. Instead, he's going to go into his own jungle, actually, because he's not doing so well in his own lane.
Wow, Katie almost died right there. He almost died. That charm barely missed him, and if that charm had landed, Ari would have killed him. Almost certainly.
Maybe. Sometimes she's friendly.
The charm is just a ruse, Torch. I hate to break it to you. It's all to lure you in to kill you. I'm sorry.
Maybe I'm special.
St. Vicious is like, I'm going to be right next to this ward. Nah, I'll kill it first.
Garnet posturing here to maybe go into the jungle of CLG. Grab any little bit of wolves they can from CLG. They need to kind of eke out a little bit of an advantage right now because they are down by almost 2k gold. Not too crazy for this point in the game, But the fact that no sort of serious fight has happened means that they're losing pretty much every lane, at least a little bit.
And Skarner really hasn't had any effective ganks thus far. I mean, that's kind of been the difference in this game is St. Vicious has had a couple really good ganks, whereas Garnet has not done anything really effectively in that sense, which is not necessarily his fault. It's been good ward coverage by CLG.
Yeah, Hotshot GG once again pushing Vladimir behind his minion wave, keep as far away as possible so he doesn't get
they're going to
kills.
Dragon.
CLG, yep, starting it. They don't need Olaf. He doesn't have any sort of teleport to come in, but that's going to make sure that Vladimir doesn't come as well. Skarner trying to run in to do the last smite, but doesn't get it. Instead, he gets caught.
He is flashes on the wall, but St. Vicious flashes as well. Gets the stun off, and the kill goes to Ari. Nicely done. A waste of Caitlyn's ultimate there, but regardless, they get the kill. It's 3 kills to 0 now for CLG. They are really starting to get ahead. It's starting to get to the point where soon it's going to snowball a little bit. Oh no, Rounders missed that last wolf as he tried to kite it.
Yeah, Garnet was seeing like, all right, they're going for this dragon, but maybe I can get in there and do the final smite and grab it for the team. If you can get it without losing too many of your own team, it's worth it. But it's such a huge risk that maybe in that point of the game it wasn't the right decision.
Well, I mean, I think if you can, even if you lose your jungler, if you can get the dragon, it's more gold to get the dragon for your whole team. So
yeah, but it's not just the jungler; it's the buffs that he had at the time. He's giving them.
Oh,
to the
that's
other team.
true. That's true. We now have a red buff Ari. Oh no! Nope, gank doesn't happen this time. Rounders gets away this time. And St. Vicious is like, well, in addition to that injury, I'm going to insult you by taking out the ward that warned you of that gank.
Once again.
Again.
Yeah, this bottom lane from NeL is doing a phenomenal job there, considering everything else that's going on in the game.
Yeah, very nice. Graves does have that BF sword now, which gives him a ton of damage. He has his Berserker Scribs as well. It looks like Garnet might be setting up to try and dive. Katie is here as well. It's 4-on-1. Are they going to get Chowster? Oh, the ultimate and the flash, and Chowster gets away with no damage taken.
No damage taken, but they are going to be able to take down this turret if they do it quickly enough, which they do. However, that puts them in a relatively vulnerable position. Ari and Udyr are there in the lower river, but they are going to back off because they know they don't need to kill him right now. They can instead move and put some damage on the middle turret. Meanwhile, Olaf is finally starting to push up the top, but instead he's just going to back and buy some more items. Rounders
clearing that up. He doesn't know Olaf is waiting for him in that bush. Actually, no, never mind. Olaf went back to spawn. So yeah, NeL now getting some little bit of a counter push here. They did get the bottom turret. That's good for them. They're trying to push middle here a little bit as well. Both blues are up, so the teams are kind of going to put a hold on any other attacks until they can claim both of those. Yeah, we do see a Aegis of Protection coming out from Olaf and a Kindle Gem, so he's going to be going for more of a support role on his team. Be tanky, but also be able to give as much of that aura to the rest of his team. Very nice play by him. Big Fat GG has gotten that blue buff. Can now spam away happily in the middle, clearing out those minions very quickly. And yeah, so we now do have Ari, by the way, with a Negatron cloak. I wanted to point out she didn't go for the early Will of the Ancients, which we often see on Ari's. She went instead for the Negatron cloak to try and kind of outlast the damage that Mordekaiser does put on her in return. Yep. And that's going to be good. I mean, it's a really, the Negatron cloak isn't that expensive, and she's going to have it all game, and it's a really cost-effective item for getting a ton of magic resist early on. So not surprising, but it also means that Ari isn't quite as dangerous as she could be because she doesn't have as much damage output without getting the items. So no, she gets caught by Skarner. Oh wow, charms Skarner to stop him from ulting her, and then uses her ult to flash away as well. Yeah, Skarner looking like he was almost in position to impale Ari, but he decided to back off. Once again, a failed attempt by Skarner. Olaf is just pulling Vlad so hard. Hotshot GG does a ton of damage, despite the fact that he doesn't really have any damage items. But he's also got a lot of magic resistance. Finally, Rounders is starting to put a little bit of hurt back on Hotshot GG, but the thing is that once Olaf is lower in health, he does more damage and gains more health himself, so it's kind of a little bit of a misnomer in the amount of health that he has. Yep. Now they're pushing in on the middle here. Minions get cleared out very quickly, though. Oh no, he's going in for the kill. It might be a simul kill actually. Hotshot GG trying to run away. Oh, the ultimate and the ignite barely do not kill him off. Vladimir also barely survives. And Hotshot GG is going to stay and clear out these minions real quick, but he needs to be careful. Rounders might, no, he's actually healed up enough that Rounders can't quite polish him off on turret, but he might be able to polish off Rounders.
Yeah, meanwhile, we've got a pretty big fight going on in mid. NeL's putting a lot of pressure on the turret, but not quite enough. CLG is going to be able to force them off with Howling Gale and the fear of that charm coming out from Ari.
Oh no, St. Vicious going for that kill. The slow, the axe slows him. He gets the Q off, but he's not going to get away now from St. Vicious. The pool goes down, but as soon as he comes out, he's going to try and get the kill on Hotshot GG before he dies. But Hotshot GG turns and gets out of this vicinity just in case, and a kill goes to St. Vicious. And they're going to get mid-turret as well now with 2 players top, though, for CLG. That means NeL can push in and get this tower. Although it looks like CLG is going to get top tower in exchange. Yeah, not only are they going to get, or at least put a lot of damage on the top tower, but they're pushing back the NeL team into their own jungle. Dragon's going to be up in about 20 seconds. When that happens, CLG is going to already have all of their lanes pushed up. Bottom, we see the towers down, and the creeps are already up to the tier 2 towers. Yeah. Top tower going down, middle tower very hurt, so NeL needs to protect that. It's going to allow CLG to go back and buy some items. Oh, and actually they're going to... Oh, never mind. Yeah, Dragon is up now, and it's a really smart play to push all those towers out so they can go get Dragon, and basically while NeL is distracted by the minions they have to push back, but they're actually not taking that opportunity. A lot of their players went back to buy at just that moment, so CLG is going to have to regroup, and that's going to give NeL a little bit of an opportunity. They've pushed back the mid lane and the bottom lane, so they don't have to worry too much. They can actually have everyone down at the Dragon for a fight. Yeah, but the thing is, they really don't want to engage right now. Caitlyn did go back and bought her Infinity Edge, started to build her Zeal. Meanwhile, Graves was not in a position to do that. He just now went back to buy his items. So they wouldn't have actually been able to contest this Dragon right now, and that's going to give CLG a pretty easy gift, I guess, at this stage in the game. Yep, Dragon goes down to CLG, and that's what happens when your AD carry goes back to buy when the fight's about to happen. Yep, he should have gone a little bit earlier. He did have the money to get the Infinity Edge. He was trying to wait up to be able to buy the Zeal right off the bat, but instead he just bought the dagger and will have to get it later. St. Vicious going in and taking the damage so they can take out this tower. Are they going to engage at the same time? Godbrother almost goes down, but he's able to get out. Is St. Vicious going to die now? He is definitely going to die. Shouster is running for dear life. Big Fat GG forced to use his ultimate to actually get away instead of attack. And CLG actually on the run as they lose their jungler in the early part of that fight. It was actually really close. They went after Godfather, tried to take Alistar out of the fight initially, but instead it turned around and Alistar got away with just a sliver of health. And the kill went to putting themselves on the scoreboard. That is going to give them a little bit of momentum to move on ahead. Their entire team was able to get a bit of health from the Triumphant Roar and the heal going off. Just so that they could have fought if they needed to, but instead they're going to spread out. 3 of their champions are going to the top lane to try to counter the tower a little bit. 4 are here now, actually. Double's going to have to give that up. Yeah, he kind of wants to go in there and put some hurt on, but it's not worth it. There's no way he can fight 4 champions and 20 minions by himself. Oh, sure he can. He's double lift. Well, let me see. Oh, well, he has an Infinity Edge. Sure, go for it. Infinity Edge, Berserker Greaves, couple Dorans, piece of cake. Yeah, now, unfortunately, NeL left their blue buff before they went back, which is going to give CLG the advantage to start it. However, they're going to start it just as NeL is in position to fight it if they want to. No, Udyr is going to chase them away, and they're going to get NeL's blue buff without any contestants. Sounds like we're hearing a little bit of audio from the CLG team, actually, as they engage on Baron, and they can do this with Udyr tanking and Double Left doing a ton of damage on Caitlyn. They can actually do this very quickly, and it looks like they've actually left Ari in the middle lane to distract the entire enemy team and make them think that they're not at Baron. And they're just going to get it very quickly before NeL knows what's happening. Yep. There it goes. Ari's a little bit out of position, though. But it doesn't matter. Stralis goes off. CLG runs in. Tons of damage. Major ult from Janna, pushing everyone away though, but are they going to be able to re-engage? Looks like CLG might have made a mistake. They're going to lose Well, no, if Jouster gets... Jouster gets out with barely any health left. Same with Hotshot GG. I'm sorry, Big Fat GG. Oh, but he actually gets a kill, in fact. And ouch, NeL. Oh, wow.
Beautiful play by CLG.
Oh.
Barely keeping everyone alive, and now they're going to get that regen from the Baron buff. They're going to be able to move in. 6 seconds until Alistar comes up, so that's going to get this turret down without any contest. They're going to be able to move on and put some more hurt on the extra turret. Alistar's not going to be able to do anything on his own, so it's really going to be until the damage dealers come back up, which is not going to be for another 15 seconds.
Yeah, Vladimir's ult is down, so he can't clean up either at this point. And as you can see there, yeah, the lifesteal ability of both Big Fat GG and of Double Lift, just keeping them in the game, keeping them back up at higher health so they can take out that inhibitor.
Yeah, now they're going to move on and grab the red buff from NeL. Back off, grab their own as well.
For a second, it looked like that was going to go really badly for CLG. They ran in there, and then they started retreating, and I was like, oh my gosh, they have so many players about to die, and then they're just like, wait a second, let's actually fight this. They turned around, and NeL was like, whoa, wait, hold on a second, I thought we were winning. No's!
Yeah, it was interesting that you were saying that Ari was out of position, but she was actually able to come from the middle of the fight and do a lot of damage on pretty much everyone of the NeL team right off the bat and get them low enough that they could continue fighting for the rest of the time. Nice monsoon that came out from Jenna as well to let them reset the positioning and move in again. Yeah, that was a really good point as well. Janna's ultimate there. Monsoon, just when it looked like everything was going wrong, she's like, actually, let's just reset, clear this up. Hotshot GG just kind of, he's like, it's 1v5, but I'll just keep pushing these minions. NeL is afraid of him, actually. They don't know where the rest of the team is. They're like, well, we could attack him, but he's probably bait. Well, he is also level 16 against level 10 from Godfather. He has the support, so it's expected for him to be a little bit lower, but not that much lower.
Wow, look at that, Caitlyn. Infinity Edge and a Phantom Dancer, the double combo that is so strong. Able to put out tons of damage. And yeah, Double Lift's even going to be able to take this tower down extremely quickly. Yep. And NeL cannot even contest that right now. More gold going to CLG. They are now 13,000 gold in lead. Sorry, 12,000.
Pretty good amount.
That is a lot.
Trap going down to make sure that no one from NeL can rush out there, even though they don't really want to at this point.
No. Well, they could try, and Garnet could try and impale someone and pull them onto the tower. If he can actually get a hold of Caitlyn, for instance, get a hold of Double Lift, that would be a really strong thing to do.
Yeah, but Saintfish is doing a nice job of zoning them out. Hotshot going in first as well. Alistar trying to headbutt Pulverize, does, but he doesn't do any real damage with it. Smokescreen going down to push back CLG. Does keep their turret alive for a little while, but they took a lot of damage that they're not going to get back. Meanwhile, CLG is regenning insane amounts from that Baron buff.
Yeah, and so yeah, that tower is down to half health now. And remember, they have to keep continually going over to the middle and dealing with super minions as well. Hotshot GG is like just running around by himself, man. He is so strong right now, he doesn't care. And the tower goes down, Godfather desperately trying to get out of there. St. Vicious in the front, he's going to get out instead. Vladimir ult goes down, it's going to do a ton of damage. He may be able to finish off a few of the players, but it doesn't even matter. NeL gets aced. And I think that is going to be game, ladies and gentlemen. CLG, with Caitlyn still alive, can just polish off those Nexus turrets so quickly. They've got minions there as well. There's the GGs coming from NeL. CLG Counter Logic Gaming has done it. They have come back with 2 wins in a row. They are going to the quarterfinals with Zenix Storm.
Yeah, it's a result that we kind of expected before the group even started, but after they lost to Zenix Storm, it was a little bit afraid for them. Maybe kind of shattered their mentality a little bit, but this is going to help them resolve those issues and move on for the round of 8. They've got 3 weeks before they even need to play another match, so that's going to be a lot of prep time for them to figure out what they did wrong against Zenix Storm and make sure it doesn't happen again. Yeah,
regardless of the fact that, well, the win was required to advance, it's also very important for their esteem after that tough loss to Zenix Storm. So good on them, very nicely done, and they're going to have some good momentum going into the round of 8.
Yep, looking very good. We're going to have an interview with them in a little bit, but before that happens, we just want to say thank you for NeL and XD. You guys did a very good job in this tournament. I'm really excited to see how they come back next season. This is the first season of an entire long circuit of League of Legends. The game is just exploding here in Korea and worldwide as well, and we want to make sure that we can give you as much access to it as possible. Yeah,
the crowds here have actually been ridiculous. That's how popular League of Legends is right now, that there's people lining up for hours to get into the studio, and even right now we've got probably a couple hundred people standing in the back just watching without any chairs available. So very, very cool.
For the entire 3 matches in a row.
Yeah. Yeah, some of them have been there for a long time. So nicely played. CLG is going to advance. There we have the NeL team discussing their loss, but they played well. Congrats to them.
Good showing against both CLG and Zenix Storm. Again, this is something that's going to be going on for a while. We do want to hear your criticism. Let us know everything that you think about the tournament, how it can improve for you guys. Go to ognlol.com, go to ozubu.com, sign up, give us your feedback, because we will be getting better for you over these coming weeks and coming seasons.
Yes, indeed. And yeah, you can go to ognlol.com for basically everything. We're going to be continuing to add more information and features to that website as well. We're going to have eventually, once we get a little bit more information, I guess, we're going to have statistics on the teams, win rates, loss rates, eventually, you know, maybe kill-death ratios, that kind of thing. So we're trying to include a lot of cool stuff for you guys. Obviously, it's still a budding website. It's not there just yet, but eventually we will. So keep checking back there. And that's, of course, where you can also find the VODs, video on demand, if you want to watch other games from the previous week.
And also, if you want to ask your favorite Korean player any sort of question, let us know, and we can try to pass that along as well. We want to make sure that you guys are as acquainted with these players as possible. They're new players, most of them. Some of them have been around for a little while, but a majority of them are new to the scene, and we want to make sure that you get as much exposure to these guys as possible, because they are pretty awesome.
All right, so here's the results for today. Zenix Storm coming out with the win against NeL to advance. Then CLG did manage to clean up XD. And finally, in the final game, never-ending League of Legends has ended their run in this tournament.
But they'll just go back to PC Bung and keep on playing.
That's true. They can still play. But they are out of this tournament, unfortunately. CLG is going to be advancing, though, along with Zenix Storm out of this group. And here is our matches for next week. Team OP versus Team Superstar are going to be facing off, and then Najin EM Fire is going to be facing NEB, and those are going to be Wednesday's matches, and then on Friday we have the winners, losers, and final games for each group.
Yeah, so anyone not acquainted with these teams, these are 4 Korean teams. Team OP has been around for a while, but their roster's been adjusted a little bit. Considered one of the top teams, but not quite to the level of Najin EM Fire or Zenix Storm quite yet. But we'll see how they do on Wednesday. Najin EM Fire used to be called EDG. They were the Korean national team for WCG, an extremely strong team. In the past 13 scrims they've had with CLG, they've actually won 12 of them. They are also one of the only pro teams in Korea that actually has a salary. So it's a team that they're taking everything extremely seriously. They're practicing a lot. They've got the coaches that they need. They're about to have a B team as well. So just the infrastructure for Korea just getting started, but getting started extremely quickly. And it's extremely exciting to see how it's going to end up.
Yeah, I mean, people are kind of realizing, hey, wait a second, this has gotten so huge so quickly. We want to get out on this because it's going to get even bigger. It's just growing almost exponentially right now in Korea and around the world, actually. So it's awesome to see the sponsors jumping on board, people investing money into these teams, so that these awesome gamers can afford to do what they do and show us the skills that we love to watch. So very, very cool.
And the way for you to help continue it growing, like we said before, give us as much feedback as you can, but also get your friends into it. We're going to have rebroadcast twice on Saturday for both the European time and the American time. Bring your friends around, have a party, eat some pizza, drink some whatever, and have a great time with League of Legends. Show everyone that you can what an awesome game this is and why it's going to be so awesome in the future.
Yep. Well, let's go ahead and go to our interview with CounterLogic Gaming.
네, B조에서 8강 진출팀이 모두 결정이 됐습니다. 마지막 8강 진출팀은요, CLG 팀입니다. 축하드립니다. Congratulations! 저희 오게임넷이 조금 더 원활한 방송을 위해서 통역을 준비해드렸어요, 여러분. 제가 영어를 잘하지만 안녕하세요.
네, 안녕하세요, 여러분. 네.
굉장히 많은 걸 도와주고 계신 우리 통역분이신데 지금 잠깐 피해를 장씨입니다. 여러분 많이 사랑을 해주시고요. 자, 그럼 이제부터 원활한 인터뷰를 한번 시작을 해보겠습니다. 자, 첫 번째 스톰의 경기와에 있어서 굉장히 패배를 하고
So obviously, by the way, we won't have to be translating for you guys this time since CLG will be speaking in English. But this is Soju. He's going to be.
The hard times. Right now you are in quarterfinals. So how do you feel?
He's going to be translating for the Koreans, basically.
Sorry.
Losing the storm like kind of set us back and put us in a real slump, and I guess we're just like demoralized. But we had a lot of help from Loco Doco and Onanekim, and we kind of like boot camped with them and trained a lot. We got ready for these games and studied how the teams play, and it just helped a lot. And we're more prepared this time.
그 수요일 날 CLG 팀이 좀 시험대에 있었거든요. 그때 열심히 연습했고.
All right. So what he's saying is that I'm just kidding.
열심히 공부해서.
He's just repeating what
잘했습니다.
St. Vicious was talking about.
우리 세비 선수가 그 스톰팀과의 경기에서는 그렇지 않았는데 오늘 오라클을 굉장히 빨리 먹었어요. 그 이유가 한국 팀을 향한 전략인지.
So today you really take the aura, you know, to see the world really fast. But usually Korean players don't do that. So what's the reason? What is item?
For certain junglers, you can get Oracle really early, and then it puts a lot of pressure because, like, Mordekaiser is a hero that's just gonna push. And he's gonna put 2 wards, and he's not gonna be scared at all. And once you take those wards away, he just literally hides in his tower, and that's why you get the Oracle early.
상대방이 푸시 많이 해서 빠르게 오라클 먹으면 워드가 될 수도 있고 그렇게 생각합니다.
네, 원활한 진행 잘 보고 계시죠, 여러분? 우리 세비 선수가 또 1차전 때는 좀 안 좋은 모습을 보여줬는데 이틀 만에 굉장히 좋은 모습을 보여주고 있어요. 그 경기를 얼마나 열심히 준비를 했길래 그런지 궁금합니다.
So I guess you really practice hard for today. So well, how did you practice actually?
We played a lot of scrims versus Empire. We scrimmed Locodoco's team, and we did a lot of 1 versus 1s, especially me top lane versus Chowster. He plays all the matchups really good. He plays all the lanes really good, so it was really good practice going back and forth.
엠파이어 팀이랑 그 로코도코 엠파이어 프로스랑 연습 많이 했다고 했고 그 다음에 미드로 탑으로 1대1 많이 했습니다.
네. 그럼 이건 좀 사적인 질문인데 한국에서는 어떻게 생활을 하고 계신지 궁금하거든요.
How's your Korean life?
It's been great, especially the food. I really love the spicy food. That sometimes go out a little harder than going in, but it's especially delicious. And the streets, the shopping streets, especially the place where you can haggle. I had a lot of fun trolling the people that try to haggle me there.
한국에서는 잘 지내고 있고 뭐지 그 선수가 매운 음식 많이 먹어서 너무 좋고 많이 먹어서 좋습니다.
매운 음식을 많이 먹고 있는 것 자체가
That got a bit of a laugh from the crowd.
많이 빠졌다는 그런 증거로 저는 생각을 하겠습니다. 그럼 앞으로 이제 승리를 계속 쭉쭉쭉 하기 위한 앞으로의 각오 한마디 부탁드릴게요.
So do you have any final words or any shoutouts?
Thanks to our sponsors, Razer, Own3D, and thanks to fans, thanks to everybody home, thanks to our friends and families, and yeah, I'll give it over to someone else.
And thanks for everyone for coming out to watch all the split, and yeah, thanks for the support.
일단 서서한테 감사하는 말 있었고 뭐 레저랑 뭐 하여튼 그냥 서서하고 그 다음에 뭐 여기 팬들이 용산 뭐 e스포츠 컨벤션까지 와서 너무 감사하고 계속 응원해줘서 감사합니다.
네, 원활한 인터뷰를 여기서 마치고요. CLG 팀 앞으로도 많이 사랑해 주시기 바라겠습니다. 저는 여기서 인사드리고요. 다음 주에는 신조 경기가 준비되어 있으니까요. 여러분 많이 기대해 주시고요. 응원도 많이 해주세요. 민주희였습니다.
All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. CLG feeling a lot better now that they've won a couple games. They prepared a lot harder for these matches today. They weren't caught unprepared, and looking a little bit confident going into the round of 8. And thanking their fans a lot there, because they have been getting a lot of support lately from them. And remember, if you are in Korea, if you're in Seoul, you can come on down to Yongsan. You get off at Yongsan Station. Just go out of the station to the iPark Electronics Mall. Go to the tippy-top floor.
Above the Gundam base.
Above the Gundam base, exactly. The elevator has a button that says Gundam base next to it. You can find out what that is if you want. And you can just come on in here and find the studio, watch the games live yourself. It's pretty awesome to come on down here, so we recommend it if you happen to be in the area.
Yep, CLG putting everything on the line to come here to Korea, move into a gaming house, and just step up their game to the next level, saying that they're practicing very hard with a lot of the other Korean teams. Not only is that helping them, but it's also helping the Korean teams level up their game too. So just doing a great job. You can, of course, check them out on their own streams at Own3D and just watch them in the rest of this tournament.
There you go. So very nice play from CLG. Congratulations to them. I'm sure a lot of foreigners around the world are happy to see them advancing in the tournament, along with Zenix Storm and, of course, MIG and MKZ advancing last week as well. And again, one more reminder, again, if you just finished watching this and you're like, man, I want to show my friends that, I want to watch it with them, the rebroadcast will be at 10 p.m. local time in Eastern Standard Time, and also in GMT +1, I believe. It's whatever time zone Berlin is in. That was written down. It's Berlin time. I'm like, okay. So you can watch the rebroadcast, and those rebroadcasts will be the entire week's games. So it'll be Wednesday and Fridays. All 5 games of each group are going to be rebroadcast. So plenty of opportunities to watch pseudo live, I guess.
Watch with other people, make sure you can chat about what's going on in the games, not feel completely lonely when you're watching the VODs. However, if you do want to set your own schedule, the VODs are available at ognlol.com. You can sign up very quickly there, which also gives you an account on azubu.com, where you can find lots of cool game information. Thank you once again. I'm Torch. This is Moletrap.
Yes, thank you again for watching LOL the Champions, sponsored by azubu.com. Hope you enjoyed it. We will see you guys next week.